This is the Life's Journey with Best Friends podcast. Listen as two best friends for over 40 years share our experiences, insights, and unique stories.
Hey, BFFers, it's me, Diana, and we have a couple special guests today because Noelle is out sick still. We hope she feels better soon, but I have our content manager,
researcher.
yes, Christine,
Me.
and we have our executive producer, because I gave her a promotion, Julie.
Hi,
Welcome, you
BFFers.
guys. I'm so excited you're here.
Excited to be back, but on screen now. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you.
Yes, I know. This is your first kind of.
Yeah, this is my first on-air
Her-
video one. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You're her virgin.
Yep. Popping my cherry, baby.
There you go. There you go.
So fun.
So I got a great story to tell you, and it's probably part of a aging ungracefully. Or should we throw it back to Noelle and say, what does she say? Aging.
Oh, unaging gracefully.
Unaging gracefully. Yes. I wish we could unage.
I'd love to unage gracefully.
So today, today I left for work. I leave the house at 6:05 to get to work. I drove all the way there. I get in my office. I had taken my coffee cup out, getting ready to make myself a cup of coffee, and I realize I have both sets of car keys for the two cars that we have here.
Oh no.
And I'm like, fuck, it's 6:00. I knew Jim had a doctor's appointment today at 9:30, and I'm like, they can't come get it. I mean, what am I going to do? So I called him, and of course he doesn't answer because he's sound asleep. It's 6:30 in the morning. So I called him 3 times, and then I FaceTimed him. And I was like, listen, I have the van keys. Is there another set? And he goes, nope. I go,
Oh,
okay,
gosh.
I'll be home soon.
What are you gonna do? You know?
Of course.
Had to drive all the way back.
Well, does it have a key fob?
The van?
Yeah.
No.
I was gonna say because those key fobs are
You still need
ridiculously
the key
expensive.
to
Oh, okay. All right.
turn
Yeah.
it on. So
Yeah.
that was my fun. That's my like brain dead self. You know what I mean? I didn't even realize the van keys were still in my pocketbook because I took Jay's car today. And yep.
Yeah.
It
I remember
happens.
once I drove all the way to work and forgot my laptop. And my commute at the time was like an hour away. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to go home. What am I gonna do? I'd have
Right,
nothing.
I gotta
nothing.
work.
It's not like when I first started working and people shared computers and all
You
of
don't
that.
have a desk. You didn't have a desktop either. You didn't have both.
Nope, just your laptop. So I had to go all the way home, get my laptop, drive back to work.
No.
Part of me was like, and I think at the time it wasn't, this was pre-COVID, so it wasn't like
a work from home thing.
Work from home wasn't as, supported, I guess. Nowadays, like if you did that, you'd just be like, yeah, I'm just going to work from home. the
I'm
rest-
staying home.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not going to
Exactly.
sit another, hour in the car. So,
Right.
but we all, you walk out, you forget something.
Oh, I was
There's
so
always
mad at
something.
myself. So mad.
I think my
know.
favorite is when you walk in a room and you completely forget why you walked in that room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. All the time.
Stand it.
And you
Can't
literally
stand
start to
when
go
that
through
happens.
this mental checklist
What
in
would-
your
right.
head.
Yes. Yep.
Well, my thing is, I'm like, I want, you have something in your brain that you want to tell somebody, but they're talking, so you kind of wait, and then they finish, and you're like, I lost it.
Yep.
I
Yep.
know.
All the time.
I don't remember what I wanted to say. It's like but it was like 2 minutes, not even,
Yeah.
and I can't remember that.
My mother used to say when you couldn't remember something you were going to say, she would say, must have been a lie.
My mother used to say that.
Must have been a lie.
My mother used to say that too.
Yeah.
Or when her hand
Isn't that
was
funny?
itchy, she's like, or her nose was itchy, she's like, I'm gonna get in a fight.
Yeah. Get in a fight or kiss a fool. Yeah.
Yep. That's so funny.
Isn't that funny? So I know we kind of skipped to unaging gracefully, but as far as health, you guys just came from yoga. How was that?
Yes,
We
we did. Yoga was a lot of fun tonight.
It is. It's
I
just.
really
I'm
enjoyed
so
it.
proud of Diana. She's doing so well, and this is like
Yay!
the very first or second time she's done it. So
I think
she's
I'm going to
doing
be
really well.
very sore tomorrow. It was a lot of like stretching and stuff.
It is. It was a lot of work today. She put us through a lot of poses and
Yeah.
stuff like that with holding.
Especially
Like,
our legs.
yeah, our thighs are going to be sore.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure I'll be able to sit on a toilet, but we'll see.
How are you? Did she do like balance things like tree
Yeah,
or anything
yes.
like
Squeeze
that?
balance. Yeah,
So
and
tough.
I'm
Oh.
better balanced on my left side than I
Yep.
am my right.
Yep.
I'm the same. I think that's true of everybody. Everybody has like one side that they favor,
That's what
that
she was
they're
saying.
Yep.
stronger.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just easier for me on my left.
And I still can't get it right. No matter how many times I try it, no matter how, the balance thing doesn't work for me. Like
Yeah.
I try. I have, thank God, doing it at home. I have used my son's PS to balance or catch myself from face planting so
Yeah.
many times that, yeah.
There were
It's
no
just-
farts today either.
Oh, good. Well,
Thank
that's-
God.
or
I was
you
a
know.
little nervous because I was next to the guy. I'm like, oh, watch him fart, but he didn't. So I was happy.
I don't think anybody wants to do that
No,
during
not
class. I mean,
No.
really.
Guys just
but
let him rip,
no.
so I was a little nervous.
Yeah, I can imagine you doing happy baby with your feet out and somebody.
That's the worst. Do you know how bad that could be with Happy Baby? You haven't done
We
Happy
haven't
Baby.
done Happy
You
Baby
haven't
yet.
done Happy Baby yet.
It's a
But when
great
we
stretch,
do,
but
oh
you
my
always,
God.
you always feel like, oh, yep,
You're
it's
gonna
gonna
rip one.
happen.
Hopefully it's silent.
Hopefully she'll only have us do one side at the time. You can do half Happy Baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe she won't do Happy Baby.
Maybe she won't.
But you know what she said today, which I loved? Like, she's like, if you guys do it again in the summer, she's like, one time we went outside and did yoga out on
Yeah.
the grass. I'm like, oh, that would be
I
awesome.
would love that.
They do it at the
Awesome.
beach here in Plymouth. They have a yoga
Oh.
Yeah,
class
they
on the
do
beach.
it up at Salisbury too. They do
Yeah.
morning yoga on the beach for like
Mm.
$5 a drop in.
Yeah.
So yeah, yoga was fun.
I love
Excellent.
yoga.
You guys stick with it?
Yeah, I'm definitely want to well, Chrissy and I actually talked about. There's another class we might take.
Tai Chi.
Yeah, Tai Chi.
Oh, yeah. That's supposed to be
I have
really
not
good
tried
for you.
Tai Chi,
So I
and I
think
would
we might
love
try
to
that.
try it. Yeah.
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 That's
And that
As
would
long
be
as
great.
it's beginner Tai Chi. I
Yeah,
wanna
no.
try.
I would have to do. I've never done Tai Chi before, so if
I
we
think
take a
it'll-
class, it
I
has
think
to
it'll
be
be fun.
beginner, and it's slow movement. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
like
all
really
slow
fast.
movements.
Yeah. So I think that would be great too.
That's
No.
People
interesting.
get
Yeah,
a
so
lot
I
of
think
benefit
that's
of it.
As long as it's offered in the summer, I think we're gonna try that, and we're also gonna pick up our pickleball.
Yeah, I do want to try that. I haven't done
It's
it yet.
So
much-
fun.
It's so you know what? We should one day the four of us play because
Yeah.
it's so much easier with the four of us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Maybe
the
we'll get
courts are
somebody to
always open.
videotape
Yeah,
it.
we should.
In our city, the courts are always open. So
We'll get
it'd be
somebody to
easy.
record us playing and we'll post it.
Oh God.
I don't know to that, but we'll see.
1 hour of pickleball is equal to 9,000 steps.
Wow.
What's
Yes.
yoga?
I don't know.
We'll
I have to
do
look it
that.
up.
Because I was thinking about that because you can put it into the phone and it'll calculate your steps out.
Yeah.
An hour
yeah.
of yoga. I bet it's going to be worth something.
It's
Oh, yeah.
yes. It would depend on how intense we were.
Which
And
this
stuff.
isn't very intense.
No. It isn't. But it's still you're working. You're using your body weight to build muscle mass. So it's still doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it'll be interesting to see what that adds up to. We have a few subjects that we've all been talking about that I think everybody will find interesting. I know Julie's into Princess Kate. Chrissy, we're going to talk about the 32-hour work week that
Mm.
they want us to work but pay us for 40, which I know is never going to happen because what company would do that? And then I'm going to talk about the solar eclipse that's happening in April. So, Chrissy, why don't you go first?
Okay,
Since
so-
you're new to this.
Okay. So bear with me, everybody. I took notes. So Senator Bernie Sanders introduced a bill with Representative Mark Tanako, excuse me, Takano,
Staccato.
about changing the. Thank you, Takano. Thank God, right? Thank God for you, Julie. So I'm taking excerpts from Forbes.com and PBS.com because that's what I read. So the 40-hour work week was initiated over 80 years ago. And what they're saying now is due to advances in automation, robotics, and AI, they don't see why a 40-hour work week is necessary anymore because we have become more efficient. So I can understand that. Okay. They want to cut the normal hours of a work week down to 32 hours and
Mhm.
consider anything over 32 hours as overtime. So,
Really?
yes. So, the bill would not alter or hinder anyone from working beyond the 32 hours. It's just you would now be considered having overtime hours once you reach 32 or
Mhm.
more,
Is
or
that
over 32.
and so that's for hourly employees, right? Like
That's
salaried
for hourly employees,
employees would
correct,
not
They
get
wouldn't,
non-exempt, right,
right? Because exempt, you work whatever.
right.
But I thought they talked about 32 hours, but paying you for 40. I didn't know it was going to be 32, and then after that is overtime.
It supposedly there's not supposed to be a cut in pay or a cut in your benefits. I don't know how it's all going to work. I think there's a lot of moving parts to this bill that need to be worked on because there are certain industries that I don't know if it would work in. Like
Mhm.
Nursing.
nursing, manufacturing. Like certain plants have to run all the time. Like
Right.
you could switch out shifts and stuff like
Right.
that,
They
but
probably have to have more shifts.
right, and that's one of the concerns. So one of the concerns by people who are proponent to it or who cut that, Julie.
That's
People
okay.
who are opposed to it are they're going to have to be forced to hire additional people, or they're going to have to lose productivity. Now, I can see that happening in a smaller business. Th- let's bring Diana's business. She's a small business. How can that company, when the margins are for a profit are low as it is already, how would she in a small company like that be able to absorb that kind of change?
Right. You have an individual, instead of working 40 hours a week, they're working 32. You bring in
Yep.
another person that's going to supplement that other 8 hours. So there's only so many hours in the day. You're still only paying for the hours that a person works. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you're
But
not
no, but
doubling.
see
It's
that
not like two
no,
people.
but that's
But I see what you mean. Like now you have another person to cover benefits for,
right.
and that
But
kind of thing.
supposedly not, Julie. So this is where I get confused. You're working 32 hours, but you're still getting paid like you worked 40. Now you have to bring someone else in to pay for 32 hours, but like they were working 40. From what I've read, and the articles are not very detailed, it says that U.S. companies uh, would be paying without cuts in pay or benefits. So to me, I don't know what that means. Like it
I'd
could
So
have
they
to
mean
would
see the
up your
details of it.
hourly rate to
Yeah.
get you to your weekly amount.
maybe. There was a study done in Britain.
Yep, I knew that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was the 32-hour work week study. There were 61 companies that took part in it. And they did say that people came to work less stressed every day, that they were more focused. And for 24 out of the 61 companies, they did see revenue growth.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
So,
because
I mean,
people are more productive, I
right,
guess. I mean, I'd
right,
be
Yeah.
happy doing 32 hours.
right.
Like having a Friday off.
Sure. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know how it would work. I don't know if every
They probably
business
would have
could.
to stagger
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
off. I don't.
Right.
I wonder if this is also kind of trying to take another angle at the federal minimum wage, because right now the federal minimum wage is still what,
It's
$7.25.
low.
It's
It's
low, yeah.
definitely very
Where
low.
they're trying to get that to 15, like, and we can have a whole other conversation on that. But if they're saying, okay, if your employees are making $7.25 an hour and they're working 40 hours, you're going to pay them
More
$10
money.
an hour for 32 hours. It's maybe a way of trying to increase people's, because in the other time, maybe they could get a second job working part-time somewhere,
Why
get
can't they
additional
just
income.
raise the minimum
They
wage
should.
then?
I think they should.
Federally.
How? Because
They
You know what I mean? And then
people have
that
been
would,
trying to do that for years.
I mean, certain states have raised it. I know
They have.
Massachusetts, where we gradually went up and is now at 15,
Right.
you know, which kills me as a small business owner, but I get it.
states trump the
Yes,
federal one, right?
Right.
So maybe there are enough states that have a higher wage that's why they're not concerned about the federal wage as much. But
I
I
don't
don't know,
know.
like who falls under that federal minimum wage? Are we talking
Well,
like
like states like Florida, or you know what I mean? Like Florida's minimum, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but states like that have low minimum wage. So I think the federal trumps them.
Okay.
Or maybe
So,
like
the states that have a $15 minimum wage, let me just see. Looking this up right now. California, Connecticut, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Washington, and Washington, D.C. That's it.
that's it.
So all the coastal states basically.
So Julie, what the minimum wage is, so if the state, like say North Carolina, right? Their workers get like the federal $7.25 an hour. How
Unless
is that
unless their state minimum wage is
is
more.
what, 10? How can you in this day and age? How can you survive on? I mean,
Can't.
you can't survive on $15
And
an hour.
the individual employers could pay more, like they could
Yeah,
say,
right.
well, I'm going to, McDonald's nationally could say, nationally, we're going to pay $15 an hour.
Which
or
I
something
think they
like that.
did.
Right.
McDonald's, I thought, nationally raised their amount.
They might have. US is really behind other countries in terms of
Yes, they
work-life
are.
balance. As
Yes.
much as people may think we are, great about, vacations and things like that, we're not. When
Europe
you
is
look
the
at,
best.
I worked for a French company and I had colleagues who went on maternity leave for 6 months.
Yes.
Came back, still
Yes.
had their job, were getting paid. And the country recognizes and when they hear, when Italy and France hear that we only give like 8 to 12 weeks, they're shocked. They're like, you're sending your child, like you haven't even bonded with your child at
I
that
know.
point.
It's bad, actually. There's a lot that the United States is behind. Like Europe has, I think they have vacations. Like even, I mean, this is a change of subject, but we're talking about maternity. Having a baby, like in some of the European countries, is so different than having a baby here.
Mhm.
It's so relaxed. It's like having a baby at home, but in a hospital. Here, it's just, cut and dry. Have a baby, see you later, out.
Yeah,
We're just behind the
They-
times.
we really are. And we have a higher infant mortality rate and maternal mortality rate than our comparable countries, which is ridiculous in this day and
Yeah,
age
that
for
shouldn't be
US
the
to
case.
have,
In this
high
day and
mortality
age,
Right.
rate. Yeah, it's I don't know. We need to revisit
it's
a lot
very
of these
sad.
things. Yeah. But to get back to the story, the 32-hour work week, I think maybe that's trying to move in the direction of how some of the other countries are supporting workers. I don't know.
And
I don't
that
know
was
enough about it.
mentioned. Yeah. Some of the other things that were mentioned, like for pros and cons, um, obviously for better work-life balance
Yeah.
for families, especially for everybody, but for families. Lower child care expense, possibly.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not paying the 40 hours, you're paying the 32.
But that brings up another point because some daycares you have to pay for a full week whether you're there or not. Like, does
Oh.
that change that? Right? That might help for part-time, but maybe
Right,
not
like
for
if you're-
full-time.
Right.
So
Yeah.
sorry,
And
I
I
didn't
don't
mean to
know
put a
how-
stick in the mud in that, but I mean,
No.
I mean, it was a good point. But then I'm like, yeah, but some daycares you have to pay for a full week whether you're there a full week or not. Just to
Daycare
basic-
is so that's
it's
something that needs to
obscene.
be looked at in this country because daycare is
Brought us down
so-
another rabbit hole.
I know,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
It's so expensive that I don't know how these kids are doing it. Houses are expensive, so they have a high mortgage rate, so both parents have to work. But daycare is so expensive that it probably takes one of the parents' pay for the week.
Yeah. And if you
So
think
it's
of,
like,
if you
what
break it
is the
down,
balance?
right? And if you break it down, because my niece works in a daycare preschool, I think it breaks down depending on what you're paying. Like, let's say you're paying $40 an hour. The person who's actually caring for your kid, they're not making $40 an hour.
Right.
No,
They're
I
making
get
like
that.
$15 to
It's the-
$20 an hour.
Right.
Maybe
If that,
they're
right?
lucky. Yeah, if that.
Right, if that.
And then the daycare center, they have overhead costs and insurance. Insurance is very expensive when you're in a daycare. I mean,
Sure
there's
is.
no easy answer to this, but I think childcare subsidized somehow, is necessary, or more companies offering childcare as a benefit.
Yeah,
Right.
I like the subsidized. I mean, it's ridiculous how expensive it is. So, somebody at work, son just bought a house, and you know what the prices are. It was $1 million house. I mean, and it's
Wow.
not $1 million house,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
$1 million house, right? His mortgage, the kid's mortgage, is going to be like $7,000 a month.
That's
Oh my God, that's
insane.
Think about that. There's so that doesn't include like your heating, your electric, your cable, your Wi-Fi, whatever.
Yeah. I can't
How much
imagine.
money do
I
you
can't
have to
even
make
imagine.
to be able to pay for that?
The two coasts are totally out of control. Like the West Coast and the East Coast. Like Massachusetts is one of the most expensive states in
Yeah.
the country.
Yes, it
That-
is.
and we have New York
California.
and California.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's gross how expensive it is to live in these states. And that's why I think you're seeing people move out because
Mhm.
you can't
They can't
do it.
afford it.
Well,
Right.
think about us talking about moving to South Carolina. I want my retirement money to go as far as possible. It's not going to go far in this state if
Right.
everything keeps going up. I'm going to have to find a spot where my retirement money is going to last.
Right. And you're not going to be able to afford to purchase anything around here.
Right.
Hey, this is the reality that unfortunately, our kids and our friends' kids are all dealing with right now. I mean, if they're fortunate enough to have been able to buy a home when things were on the upside, interest rates were low, prices were fairly stable, but
That's the thing. The
it's
interest
getting
rate.
harder and harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These poor kids. I feel bad. Like, what's it going to be like when Bree and Mace are older and
Mhm.
ready to buy a house?
That's why like tiny homes and like mobile homes and all of this is becoming like a big trend because people can't afford
Right.
to buy property and buy houses. So,
I
that
always
may be
wanted
the
a mobile
future.
home so I could drive across country.
Yeah,
I like the tiny homes.
I do too.
Clean in like a half an hour and you're all done.
Yeah, but then you're on top of your person you're with. I don't know if
No,
I could
I
handle
want a
that.
home somewhere on like 20 acres by myself. See ya. Preferably on a beach
Yeah.
with the sun, 65 to 85 every day, something like that.
I can handle that.
Right? That's me.
Well, maybe
That's
you
my
guys can
retirement
find
wish.
like a compound in South Carolina and put a couple of tiny
Right?
homes on it.
Yep.
I
There you
sent
go.
my kids something. It was I saw it on like Facebook. It was a family that bought like acres and acres and acres, and they did all the kids all had houses. They shared a common pool, but it was like scattered around, and I'm like, this is what I want.
That'd be
Compound, my family compound.
Yeah,
with the
we joke
moat
about that
goes
at my
around the
house.
compound, so
So
you
no
can
one
just
can-
float. No, that's not even
Oh,
float.
like a lazy river.
Yeah, a lazy river.
Let's talk about this because I don't know when we as a country have gotten so soft. I feel like, so we've experienced eclipses forever, right? Always have happened.
Yep.
I have never once heard them say you need to have a safety kit or just have all these checklists and be prepared and readiness. It's like a tornado is coming.
I don't
It's a
understand it
fucking
either. Yeah.
eclipse that lasts
It's
for
been
4
going-
minutes.
It's been going on for thousands of years. I mean, are we trying to pedal back to when like people thought it was the gods being angry and
Is
you
there-
had to make
But is there
sacrifices? Like
something?
seriously, it's just an eclipse.
Yeah. Is there something with this eclipse that we don't know? Is there an asteroid coming at us? Is that why they're, you know what I mean? It's like,
No.
why are they making such a big deal out of this?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, to go see one, my sister's going to Vermont to see this. And that's the thing too. It's not like it's going to be completely visible from everywhere. There's
No,
only
it's like
certain
going
places.
across the middle of the country,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Ohio and
So,
stuff.
yeah, I don't know. It's so funny. It's like all these warnings and school closings.
School
and,
closings.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just
don't
going to
get
throw
it.
in about the school closings. I was reading articles about it, and they said that the cities that are going to be experiencing a total solar eclipse, they end up getting hundreds of thousands of more people in, and the traffic situation is
that makes
horrendous.
sense.
Right.
Not because of the eclipse, but because of the peepers.
Yes, I think what they're doing
Okay.
is they've decided to close down some of the schools because of the traffic. Like if God forbid there's an emergency at the school, they may not be able to get
Okay.
there
That kind of
because
makes
right.
sense.
I think that's why. Look, scientists spent hundreds of years trying to explain that this is just a natural phenomenon,
Right.
and it's not like I said, it's not the gods being angry. Now that we have it, it seems like we're almost backpedaling to like get your emergency kit ready. Like why?
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
So on April 8th is when the eclipse is coming, and it's going to pass between the Earth and the Sun, which we know is creating a total solar eclipse. And it'll be between United States, Mexico, and Canada. 115-mile wide path of totality. So it's going to curve from Texas to Maine. So in Massachusetts, we'll have something, but it's not going to be
Total.
right?
hmm
Okay. And then it just says, this is what kills me. Oh, so it says if we miss this rare event, you won't be able to see another one until 2044. Will I still be alive?
Yeah. That's only 20 years from now.
I
So
know,
I
I
hope
know.
I hope we're all here.
I know.
Yeah.
So anyways, I feel like
Yeah, and it's like 2.5 hours the whole process takes, and it's only 4 minutes of
right,
totality.
the total is
Right.
4 minutes, right?
And it's still during the day. So it's
Right.
not like it's going to be a total blackout. You know what I mean?
So
But-
this article says here how to drive safely during a total solar eclipse.
Why would you be driving?
Make
Like,
sure your headlights are on.
Oh, okay.
does it get
Good to know. Good to know.
just like it got like hazy or something
It
like
does
that?
Okay.
get dark, but I don't think it gets like pitch black.
Ready for number 2? Use your vehicle's sun visor to block the sun even when it's fully covered. Okay, thank you. If you have a pair of eclipse glasses handy, don't think about putting them on and trying to view the eclipse while you're driving. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you again.
Yeah.
You won't be able to see it. Oh my God. You
It's
won't
like
be able to see
Eclipse
the
for
road.
Dummies.
Okay, right? And then it says, likewise, at this point should be, it's self-explanatory. But you should be tempted to pull over to the side of the road or the highways to watch it. But it's not safe to do that, especially
not.
during a period of unexpected darkness.
So does it get dark?
It must. I think that's probably, this is going to be one of the darker ones.
Oh.
And then it says, if you do want to pull over and watch the eclipse, do it safely by getting off the road altogether and parking where there's no traffic.
Oh, good to
Are
know.
we
Okay.
3? I mean, honestly.
Most people get it, but there are some people that really do need these
You
instructions.
know,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
you know there's going to be somebody driving on the highway with the phone out the window trying to
And
take a
they-
picture.
Solar
Right.
glasses on with the little pupils in them and not being able to drive.
Yeah. If they even do that.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I like I've seen articles too that are like, make sure you have enough food and
Right.
water for a
Batteries
week and
charged.
batteries. And I'm like, what?
I'm hoping it's going to be like the show Heroes and we all get superpowers.
Ooh,
You know,
Wouldn't
when the
that be
eclipse
pretty
happens.
cool?
what superpower would you want? I think I'd want to fly because
Yeah.
I'm so afraid to fly, but I would want to fly because I could control it.
I think I'd want to have X-ray vision.
Ooh.
I want to read minds.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, that's a really good
I want to
one.
know what people really think of me.
That could be a blessing and a hindrance,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, it could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I also found how to make a solar eclipse viewer if you're interested.
Ooh.
You get a small box with a lid like a shoebox, a small piece of aluminum foil, a small sheet of white paper, a utility knife. This is what you need to make it. And then tape, needle, or sharpened pencil. Okay, and then you're going to make pinholes in the box, and that's how you're going to look at the solar eclipse
Okay.
because you can't look directly at it.
No.
And I'll send you a picture of what.
Okay. We'll
How
put
to
the
make-
instructions for our BFFers so they can make their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that right now. The other thing
Be
they're
prepared.
telling you is to have plenty of water in case electricity goes out. Have non-perishable food that you can eat in case you can't cook, or whatever with your refrigerator. Your phone to be charged, have spare battery packs.
Yeah,
I feel like they feel like the world is ending.
It's like,
Like
Y2K.
I don't understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't understand what it seems like they're being overcautious about this. Almost like
Yeah.
is it like what? Electromagnetic pulse is going to come
That's what I
from the
mean, I
thing
feel
and then
like-
like
No.
blip out stuff. I don't understand.
So we've been talking over the last few episodes about Kate Gate. And when Diana and I spoke earlier this week, we were expecting an announcement on Wednesday.
What the hell happened? Nothing.
Nothing. And I was checking my feed all day, nothing.
Me too.
And then I saw a gentleman from the UK who was in front of the palace, he was in front of the palace. And he said that was some American woman that started that rumor, that there was never anything from the royals saying that there was an embargo and an announcement coming up. And he said there's no press here. And he also said the rumors about the flag being at half mast are not true. He pointed the camera up and the flag was full. So nothing.
So rumors are just running rampant.
Rampant. But again, to what Diana and I was saying, they could shut this down so
They
easily.
created this.
They did.
They
for sure.
created this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All they
It's
need to do
crazy.
is put a video up of her,
Yeah.
timestamp it with the date.
Obviously, since we recorded that on Thursday, there was an update on Friday from Princess Kate regarding her health and her cancer diagnosis.
In January, I underwent major abdominal surgery in London, and at the time, it was thought that my condition was non-cancerous. The surgery was successful. However, tests after the operation found cancer had been present. My medical team therefore advised that I should undergo a course of preventative chemotherapy, and I'm now in the early stages of that treatment.
There is still some speculation on the video itself. Not sure if we'll talk about that, but we did want to just provide an update.
Well, I think it's time to wrap us up, right? It was great having you here. You did awesome.
Thank you again
See
for
how
having
easy
me.
it is?
I
It's
really
very easy.
appreciate it. Thank you, BFFers. Hopefully, I will see you again.
Sure you will.
Well,
Julie,
we'll
thanks
have
for
to do
joining
this-
us.
Yeah, sure. We'll have to do this maybe, if when Diana's on vacation or something and it's Noelle.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have fill
I'd
in.
love to.
That's
Yep.
a great idea. We'll have fill-in hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to.
All right,
All right.
BFFers, until next time, adios, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, BFFers.
Bye.
You've been listening to Life's Journey with Best Friends. For details on any of the things we've mentioned in the podcast, including photos, visit our website lifesjourneybff.com. You can also email us at lifesjourneybff@gmail.com or visit us on Facebook, Instagram, or Threads.
Remember, no matter where life takes you, you are never alone when you have a best friend by your side. Until next time.